and went from being anti-Patriot Act to zealously defending it and wanting to expand it, and complete warrantless wiretapping, complete secret arrest, complete. I mean, he's going further than Bush on the police state. I didn't think that was possible.
I didn't think it was possible either, and I was absolutely crushed when I heard it. He obviously was not my candidate of choice, but I took a little bit of internal intellectual solace in the fact that at least we were getting a president who would respect the Constitution. How wrong I was. His disrespect for the Constitution may not be couched in as harsh and obvious and overt terms as in the Bush years, but it's just as bad, just as destructive, and just as willing to overlook specific restraints written in the Constitution to restrain the president, as were many of his predecessors.
Well, I've talked to a lot of...
The public will accept it.
Exactly. I've talked to a lot of lawyers and judges, and I wanted to briefly see if you agree. Even though a lot of conservatives didn't like Obama, true paleo-conservatives, libertarian types like Ron Paul and yourself, because he is a constitutional lawyer and practiced it for 10 years as a professor, people expected that Obama would try to, at least on the surface, restore some of the Bill of Rights. But instead, you know, he's saying Constitution, it's just a GD piece of paper.
I too, expected that he would show more respect for the Constitution. I read some of the lectures he gave at the University of Chicago Law School. I could have given some of those lectures myself when I taught constitutional law at Seton Hall Law School in Newark and at Delaware Law School in Wilmington, Delaware. But, you know, something happens when you don the mantle of power, and that something is a disdain for the restraint on your power, a disdain for the natural law, a respect that we have natural rights beyond which no government can go, a disdain for the Constitution itself, a disdain for our inalienable rights, same as natural rights, and a disdain for the Bill of Rights. They just simply don't care. They will steal from the rich to give to the poor, to create a class of people dependent upon them who will continue to vote them in office so that they can continue to be taken care of, cradle to grave, by a federal government that doesn't have one iota of constitutional authority to do all of this.
Well said. Final question. I'm going to let you go because I know you've got to fill in guest host for Glenn Beck tonight. And congratulations on your huge success as your star rises, because you're the bona fide constitutionalist. We really, really appreciate you, Judge Andrew Napolitano. But in closing, I would like to get you to comment, on just how special George Washington and Andrew Jackson were. They got all this power and then did give it up. They wanted George Washington to be a king. You know, these were amazing founding fathers we had. And what would they think of what's happening today, where NOAA, Satellite Information Service, the federal government admits the coldest winter so far in the last 50 years, the third coldest in the last 100. Meanwhile, they're openly announcing that they're going to list carbon dioxide as a toxic waste and tax it when humans exhale it. Can you end with speaking about our founders compared to the material we've got in Washington today and what they would think of taxing what plants breathe?
The founders tried to do two things with the Constitution. One was to create a federal government strong enough to protect us from invasion and to do national-type things like run a post office and make sure that there's trade between the states. The other was to restrain the federal government so that it wouldn't interfere with our personal liberties. They specifically gave us a constitution that kept the federal government away from any type of relationship with individuals, because they knew that the greatest threat to freedom comes not from your enemy on the outside who you can see and look at, but from the smiling face of the government on the inside who claims that it's going to take care of you. And presidents like George Washington, whose closest advisor, Alexander Hamilton, wanted him to be king, and Andrew Jackson, who basically said to the Supreme Court, you know, they've gone ahead and made their federal bank, let them find the money and put the deposits in the federal bank. These were people who understood that there were natural limits on what government can do and written limits on what the federal government can do, and they stuck to those limits, the present government and its predecessors, from Lincoln to Wilson to FDR to George W. Bush to Barack Obama, have so distorted out of proportion what the federal government is to do that the founders would not recognize it at all and would probably want to take up arms against it.
What are you covering tonight, and then we'll let you go? I hope you're going to be covering the health care and cap and trade, because...
Well, it's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about health care. We're talking about the state of the economy. We're talking about the government subpoenaing media entities wanting to know who earns how much money, because they have to decide whose income taxes to audit next.
You're kidding. Wait a minute. They're not just... The federal government is subpoenaing media people to know.
They're subpoenaing media companies to find out who earns what and what their Social Security numbers are. This is getting so bad, so quickly, far worse than any of us imagined. And the present president hasn't even celebrated his first year in office yet.
Well, since you brought that up, since you brought that up, let me just ask you now. Senator Lamar Alexander's gone to the floor and talked about, he's confirmed there's an enemies list. He warned him and said, look, I worked for Nixon. Don't do this. It's been reported I am on the enemies list. I'm going from memory. I think you are too. But what is it? I mean, this is crazy. It is scary to know that there's a real enemies list. And this is, I mean, is this not illegal, Judge?
Well, it's illegal for the president to compile a list of people who disagree with him on the basis of their political opinions and their outspoken words. That was specifically written into the privacy law in 1974, enacted and signed into law by President Ford shortly after President Nixon resigned. These are restraints expressly enacted to restrain the president. But this White House, just like it doesn't respect freedom of contract, just like it doesn't respect freedom of speech, just like it doesn't respect privacy, doesn't respect this either.
Well, I tell you, it's scary, and everybody should pray for the people that are on that list, myself included. Judge, what's the best website for people to visit to find out about all things Judge Napolitano?
Well, they can go to foxnews.com, where my Freedom Watch appears, as do my monologues when I fill in for Glenn, as do many of my op-eds. And, Alex, I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed being on with you. I hope we get to do this a lot more in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you, Judge. Take care. Have a great weekend coming up.
You as well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday, but I'm already thinking about the weekend because I'm going deer hunting. All right. Yeah, you go get your hamburger out of the drive-thru window. That's okay. I'm able to go hunting.
Hey folks, this is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about Oxy Silver, the world's most advanced silver hydrosol that Dr. Horowitz says can make risky vaccines and antibiotics avoidable. You've heard Dr. Leonard Horowitz and others urge vaccination avoidance. Instead, use vitamin C, D, and Oxy Silver, along with Zeolife for broad-spectrum detoxification. Using NASA science, Oxy Silver is nanosilver covalently bonded to water. Oxy Silver safely electrocutes pathogens, oxygenates for faster healing, then delivers a 528 hertz frequency homeopathic-like energy that Dr. Horowitz proves is fundamental to life and recovering health. He also recommends Zeolife for blood cleansing and GI Flora Pro as a probiotic for intestinal immunity. Help others and earn extra income. Become a Healthy World affiliate free online. To order Oxy Silver or to find out more, visit oxysilver.net. That's OXY silver.net. Or call about Oxy Silver, Zeolife, and GI Flora Pro toll free at 1-888-KO-GERMS. That's 1-888-KO-GERMS. Do it now.
When you hear the words water purification, what comes to mind? If it's Berkey Water Purification Systems, this message is for you. Did you know that over 60% of municipal water contains fluoride at less than 2 cents per gallon? Berkey water filters purify treated and untreated water, remove dangerous chlorine, fluoride, and contaminants from municipal water. These filters are powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water, making them perfect for rainwater collection systems. From the smallest to the largest systems, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has what you need. With your system purchase, you'll receive a shower filter, a fluoride filter, or 2 sport Berkey bottles absolutely free. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com would like to offer GCN listeners 5% off all ceramic filter systems and ship all orders over $50 free of charge. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY today.
Studies have shown that many people do not get the proper vitamins and minerals necessary to maintain good health. With so many places to choose from, deciding where and what to buy can be a lengthy, frustrating process. The answer is simple. PureBulk.com. PureBulk.com has over 150 bulk wholesale nutritional products in stock, including vitamins, super antioxidants, amino acids, and herbal extracts. PureBulk.com's products contain no fillers, no additives, no fancy retail packaging, and no minimum purchase, allowing you to save 50 to 90% over store-bought supplements. PureBulk.com carries atomic iodine, red wine extract, ginkgo biloba, oil of oregano, natural coffee caffeine, L-arginine,